And it's fascinating because we trade, like I said, things like the grains, corn, wheat, soybeans, and then you have that's a seasonal market, the grain season on the planting season. So it's one of my most exciting parts in times of the year when it's time to start getting excited about grain season. But I hope that answered your question.
Commodities, just as a common phrase for things. But when I heard about trading commodities, I was like, how do you trade commodities? Okay, well, commodities are things that we basically use every single day, and it started to make more sense to me. Barbara, let me ask you this: what's been your experience, I guess, in the company or doing what you do since you started, and actually, how long have you been doing it?
I have been with Delvin probably about 3 years, I think. I actually was introduced through another business opportunity, and a trainer was saying, Barbara, I know you was in Forex before, and by the way, I didn't do good in Forex at all. I did horrible in Forex, and so he introduced it to me. He probably mentioned it about 3 times before I decided. I said, well, let me come on and I'll go on a call and listen. And meanwhile, I didn't know anything about futures and commodities. I had never heard of it either. So it was brand new to me. So I got on the call with Delvin. And the moment he began to talk about it, it just clicked. And I was like, this is for me. It was fascinating that I could go and buy coffee and drink it and trade it in trade it in that market. I find that fascinating to be able to do. So I've had a great experience. I've worked and watching the videos over and over again and going from lesson 1 all the way to 10 repeatedly. Me and Dr. Melba, who is also our business partner as well. She's one of the authors of the manual that we wrote together. I've had a wonderful experience. It's amazing everything I've learned that I had never heard of before. And so I've just been working on my skills, and ever since I've come in the group, I've loved it from day one.
Right. And you say you've been doing it how long?
It's been I think this is year 3. Yeah, this is 3 years for me.
Delvin, so you've been doing this for 30 years. So I guess the company. Now, what's the name of the company, and how long has the actual company been around?
Glad you asked that because here's the fascinating part about that, Eric. When you trade in the futures market, you trade individual. So this is not through a company. Like what people sign up to, like network marketing and do Forex.
Right.
Yeah, so we actually trade our own individual accounts. There's no company to join, but we do have a group that we all are part of where we, train and have support and, give quizzes and stuff and help people who are taking our course. We don't have a company to sign up through, if that makes sense. Now, we do have our own LLC company that we do our business and stuff through. And I'll let Barbara give you, the information for that. But to make sure you understood, like it's not through network marketing or nothing like that.
Gotcha. And to be honest with you, I know a lot of people wouldn't. The first thing they would think about is, network marketing, because since I've actually owned my own company, I started my company from the ground up, but I came from network marketing, right? When I hear certain terms, I can relate to, mentors and, stuff like that. And just the structure of how even she's, if you went to a webinar, stuff like that. So I would automatically assume, and I know not a lot of people would assume that, but that's interesting that it's more of an individual structure. So how would somebody actually start?
So we go through our course, and then there's a certain point when we get through the lessons where we feel that now it's time for you to start trying to set up your brokerage account, because this is a regulated market that we trade in, Eric. You may be familiar with the fact that like crypto is not regulated yet, but this market is. So you have to open an account with a licensed, regulated brokerage platform. And once you get your account open, now you're able to fund that account and start trading as well. And that's where we can learn how to trade without using real money while we're working on our skills and develop while we trade.
Okay. So you said paper, right?
Right, like a demo account, like a simulator account. So basically, you trade with monopoly money while you're learning and getting ready before you. It's one of the most fascinating things where you can do this without risking and look or try to even, use your own money while you're learning. Till you get to a point where you're ready to dive in the market and start trading with real money.
Right. Okay. So what would be the and again, I know a lot of I get people that reach out a lot, and they offer me or introduce me to maybe something got something to do with stocks or trading and something like that. I just haven't really had time to just dive into it, and so I know a lot of people don't understand the whole concept of trading. So, but I got kind of understanding on it, and I actually want to get more into this in the future. Let me ask you this: what would be like? What's some of the key strategies, to know when you're actually like trading?
Most important key, and that's what we start out with. We always start our course off. Our lesson one is what we call our foundation, and we start out by going over some rules that we follow, that we need to follow when it comes to trading. And without these rules, the mistakes I made in the beginning, you probably, if you would have been around when I first started doing this, you probably would have said, Delvin, I know you like this, but man, you need to find you something else to do, man. That's how bad it was. And the foundation of having some rules is what keep you structured and having that foundation. Everything we teach and go through our course all goes back to the rules that we follow, and that's the most important thing. But when you got an account in the market, in the futures market, this means that you can actually trade with futures contracts, or you can trade with options on futures contracts. And if you don't know what that means, if you listen to this and that sounds like Chinese, just know that there's a way where you can get into the market a safer and much more affordable way, trading with options. So we have multiple ways that we can get involved, and it's something that anybody can do.
Have you been in any? Have you traded anything else other than commodity?
Now, once I found this, it was something that I gravitated to, man. And the reason for that was that, like I said, when I found out what trading in the market, and then when I learned how important this was, without this market, the prices and the things that we would have to pay for the stuff that we use, it will be all over the place. It keeps things stable. It's very like, it's not just impressive, man. But when you find out that this market is way bigger than what you was thinking, it's so big. A lot of people think people are just opening up accounts, and the market is just for people to have somewhere to go play with their money. But it's way bigger than that. It has a real purpose. But imagine if you had some money that you wanted to put in the market, and you said, I got a few dollars I want to put to the side and put in the market. And I asked you, well, if you had two options, would you put your money in Starbucks or would you put your money in coffee? Which one would you choose?
Hold on. Starbucks sell coffee. I get Starbucks, right?
Okay, ain't nothing wrong with that. See, now in this particular case, it made you think for a second, because you saying that I got an option. I can put my money into the ingredient. I can put my money into the product versus the company.
Okay.
So the option to put your money into the company, Starbucks, or the option to put your money into the ingredient, the product, coffee. Here's the difference. Nothing wrong either way. But Starbucks can go away tomorrow.
Right.
Starbucks can sell the company or go through a lawsuit or whatever it is they choose to do. But the commodity coffee will never go away. And you're not just limited to what happens with that company if you got your money in the product. Does that make sense?
Makes perfect sense. Definitely.
Yeah. So that's why I never kind of ventured off when I realized how important and what trading in the markets, man. You know, put it to you. If you seen that movie Trading Places, I had no idea that later on I'd be doing what they were doing in that movie.
Right. Let me ask you this. So, all right, man, it sounds great. It actually sounds good, and I'm, from after the day, I'm gonna be really looking into it. I guess I kind of like to listen to the universe to point me in searches that I kind of maybe window shop with and left alone. But it's always situations that could pop up like this to make me, okay, I was supposed to revisit that. Let me start back and researching stocks and trading and stuff like that. So I appreciate y'all. Let me ask you this though. So with trade, with what y'all do, what would you say somebody that's interested in probably doing this, what would be the risk in doing something like that?
Well, that's a good question because remember I was saying how you can actually use and trade what's called options that helps you be able to get into the market on a much affordable level, but it also allows you to get into the market and limit your risk. But there's things in place where we can use to limit how much we want to risk on a trade. And then there's something that's called options where we can actually purchase an option, and whatever we spend for that option, that's all we can lose no matter what. If the world came, it seems the most you can lose whatever you spent on that option. So we have ways to limit our risk, but you can also make it as risky as you want to. So another good thing about trading commodities is that you got a lot of control when it comes to the risk, but it's very risky, very high level risk that's involved. You just have to know how to limit the risk. Anything you want to add on that, Barbara?
Yes. So every market is different. You take a brick and mortar business, you have all these overhead costs, employees, and things that you have to take care of. But in the futures and commodities market, it's just you and the market. And you have what's called margin and maintenance. And you set your risk amount according to the size of your account. And so we have a set of rules that we go by because we find that most people fail in business, in any type of business, when they don't have a foundation, they don't have a set of rules. And so one of those rules is you limit the amount of your risk to a certain percent and you never ever go over that. So is there a risk? There is always a risk. You can control it according to your account size, and that's what makes it safer for you. And we strive on telling people that. That's why we employ people to paper trade, to learn each market, to work out the kinks, to make the mistakes with money that's not real money. And I don't know any other type of business where you can learn the business in and out, perfect and hone your skills for free. So if you consider going into real estate, if you're going to flip a property, you got to have real money to do that. you, you can't use paper money. And so that kind of helps you limit your risk too by paper trading and studying the markets. So it becomes much safer when you have a foundation.
Okay, that makes sense. Do y'all see it? So in y'all's experience, I know, Devin, you got 30 years in the game, man. Where would you say, I guess, the biggest part where people probably fail at doing this?
Risk management, man. That's the biggest, and it goes back to not having rules. You'll hear so many times about these statistics and all these facts of how many people lose money trading, and most of the time it's because they don't have those rules. Like I said, no plan. They just heard Bob talking about this stock at the barbershop and they want to get in it. They don't know how they're going to do it, how they're going to trade it, where they getting in, where they getting out, how much they're going to risk on it. Not having those type of things, but risk management. That was. Remember I said you would have told me to get out of this a long time ago? Something I didn't have was risk management. Man, I was risking 100% of my account on one trade sometimes. So if my account had $10,000 in it and I got into a trade, I risked the whole 10,000 because I didn't want to not make money on that trade. I just had no idea about risk management, but that's the number one reason that people you know lose money in the market. And even with risk management, I'm not saying you can't still lose, man, but it helps you not make some of the mistakes that most people make. And I would probably say that's the number one reason.
Gotcha. Barbara, you agree, or would you say it's something else that you?
No, I agree. We see it all the time. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I actually have so I got a buddy that does trading, and they have a question.
Okay.
Let's see. So it says, can you explain the concept of leverage in futures trading and how you manage it?
Yes, one of the best things about trading with futures is leverage, man. We get to control a whole lot of a commodity with a very small minimum. So what I mean by that, in order to get into a trade, let's use soybeans for example. There's what's called a margin, and that margin may be $2,000. That's basically look at that like a deposit. You have to have $2,000 in your account in order to get in that soybean trade. But literally, you would probably need 30,000 if it weren't for the leverage of having that margin to take advantage of in order to control 5,000 bushels. That's how much that contract would control. You need probably $35 if you didn't have that margin, and that because that margin is something that you have to use or have in order to get into a trade in the futures market. All the commodities that trade in the market have what's called a margin. And I tell people to substitute the word for what the margin is, but it's basically allow you to control a large amount of any commodity with a small amount of money.
Okay. Wow. So you know what? I should have had you on the show. I should have had him on the show because having somebody that understands trade is always good when you're trying to get the information. They can kind of dissect. So you got another question. Yeah, I should have had you on the show.
Oh, Dr. Melba is waiting in the background to come. They're waiting in the waiting room to come in. Dr. Melba.
Okay. Let me see if I can get her in. Yep. To the stage.
Okay.
Hey, how you doing?
Hi, I'm doing fantastic. How are you?
Great. I'm great. I like busy.
Excellent.
Melba, right? So we were just talking. We was getting into some stuff trading. And of course, they say you're the. So, can you introduce yourself for me and what you actually do?
Absolutely. My name is Dr. Mel, but I'm a dentist by profession. And so I've been doing dentistry for over 40 years. And I met Mr. Delvin Wright through Barbara a couple years ago, and we've been studying trading futures and commodities in the whole process, because we traded currencies before and it didn't work out for us. And so when we came across futures and commodities and we started studying with him, we realized that his system was a system that we could use over and over again. And it worked, and we could trust the system that we were taught. It became an area that we thought that we wanted to share with others, because a lot of times it's difficult in trading to find a system that you can trust and that it works for you over and over again. And so here we are trying to bring this technology and this strategy that we've learned to as many people that would welcome it. And so I decided, since my days in dentistry have come to a close, and that's recently, that's since November, December timeframe. So it's not like I've been out of dentistry for a while, that I wanted to pretty much put my all into this venture and to help the team grow and to touch as many lives, to build legacy and wealth for families and homes for generations to come. So that's where we are right now. You know, that's our message, really, for those that have an entrepreneurial spirit about them, that would like to own their own business and a business. Because one of the things I think I bring to the plate is I have an understanding of what it costs to run a brick and mortar business, because I've done that for over 25 years. And it's very costly and to do that. With a business like this, it's pretty much, it's all online. Overhead costs is your cell phone or your laptop or desktop, whatever you choose to utilize, as well as your internet. And pretty much that's what's going to cost you, besides your broker fees to put trades in and things like that. But at the end of the day, it's a wonderful way, I think, with a low overhead for an entrepreneur to start a business. And it's and it keeps the mind sharp, you know, and that's what I like about it. So for those of us that are going into retirement years, we appeal to those as well as the younger generation. So we don't think there's a generation that works well for trading futures commodities more than any other. I think that, you know, the group that we have so far, we have the youngest person that studied with you, Delvin, is how
10 years old.
10 years old. And then the oldest so far is in their 80s, correct?
8, yes.
There you go. And so that's what we bring to the marketplace. Because a lot of people, when they go into their retirement years, you know, they're looking for something fun and exciting and innovative to do to keep their juices flowing. And I think trading is one of those things that we welcome them to take a look at and be a part of our community if they deem to do so.
Awesome. I like that. And so I guess y'all have is there like a system put in place to actually, like, or curriculum for young people to learn how to do this?
Pretty much the same curriculum that we're using for every generation is the same curriculum we use for the young people. That's how simple the strategy is. So it's not something that we have to change the strategy based upon the age of the individual.
Right.
Isn't that exciting?
Yeah, it is actually. You said earlier, you mentioned technology. Is there like, I guess, is there any technology that makes the process easier that you all use?
No, actually, there isn't. It's as simple as we use different websites to look at the trading charts, and we're taught this in a class, as well as the actual strategies that we use on these websites are different trades and strategize them. Mm-hmm. So it's not like the person has to purchase a certain software or things like that in order to trade with us, if that's what you're asking. No, there's no additional fees or additional investments Yeah, that sort. It's very simple and very easy to duplicate.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah. So let me see here. I was trying to find it. Question. Go back to it. Man, you are intricate, man. What are some common hedging techniques used in the commodities market?
Mainly most important.
Jargon, is hedging like a word that you all use, or is he just?
And the market, one of the reasons the market was formed was for farmers and brands to be able to hedge their crop. That's one of the main reasons that the market came about. Because when you farming and growing crops, it's a business that is risky, just like trading, right? And they growing the crops and stuff. How that season is gonna come out for them, they'll be able to lock in a great price or a lower price on a crop that they may be planting, that they're gonna be delivering and selling in the future.
Okay. Man. Well, I'm gonna tell you this, man. Myself, I want to get a better understanding on it. And I actually want to have y'all on again, to be honest with you. And the next time I'm gonna have, my buddy that's gonna does trading. I forgot what type of trades he does, but he does a lot of trading. I told him about it, but I forgot, I actually forgot I told him about it, and he texted me and said, so he buzzed in with me. Ms. Melba, how long have you been doing this?
I started this back in 22. Very recent.
Oh, 3 years.
I'm going on my third year.
So, have you traded anything outside of commodities?
I traded in currency and forex. I did that for about a year, and I didn't like forex. I didn't enjoy it at all. And I think because the market moved so fast, and there's just something about. Okay, so with futures and commodities, you know what I really like? What I really like is when I see it skyrocketing and it's time for me to buy it now before the price of it goes up. I could look at sugar and know when the price is going down and when it's going to go on sale, when to go and buy sugar, because I know when it's going to go up. You can look at, before this stuff comes on the news, a futures and a commodity trader knows exactly what's going on with gasoline, oil, corn, flour. Wheat comes to the general news. So by the time you hear it on the news, it's too late. It's already done its move, and you're just going to have to pay the price you're going to pay. And so for me, I think that's exciting. And I think it probably comes from doing dentistry and owning a practice and always wanting to get things, at the best, the same way, in my everyday living. I love looking at these charts and knowing things are changing in the marketplace before everybody else. So just for even learning to do that alone, even if you don't even trade, just to do that alone and learning that is invaluable. And that's where I'm into the everyday, the average person every day, the things that, they need to know in order for them to have a sometimes it's not for, of course, we'd all love to be 6 figures, 7 figures, 8-figure traders. We would love it. But some of the things that you learn in this class, is just even the very common things, like how to shop for your family before the whole masses know what's going on. Because you know how to look at a chart and you know what's going on in the market with the necessities that we use every single day.
Wow. Okay. So it's sense to me now. Okay. Things start to make sense.
Yeah.
So y'all you're taught and skilled, and you become an expert on how to read a chart based on what the market is predicted to do. How far in the future can you see we need trading in this or that? Like how?
That's one thing. There's no prediction of the future. And
Okay.
there's no prediction whatsoever. Yes, Delvin does not teach prediction. He does not have us reading tea leaves into the future. None of that stuff from looking at the charts. What he teaches us to do is to look at the history. And he teaches us that, and that's one of the things that I've learned with studying with him, that the same people that are trading in the marketplace, okay, they're trading over and over and over. And if you know anything about mankind, we're set in our ways. And after you look at a chart up to like 5 years and you see the same trends happening over and over and over, you get to plot, okay, at some point in time, since this has been doing this for 5 years, it's very difficult to see if this thing trades between 60 and 80, you know, it's very hard to see it going below 60 and very hard to see it going below 80, especially if it's doing it for 10, 20 years. And so you know where to stay within your parameters of trading that commodity. You know, so there are things like that that you learn, you know, in the class that helps you understand, you know, and each commodity you'll learn has its own personality. And Melvin teaches us, you know, how to look at that commodity and learn the personality of the commodity. And once you start making notes and the personality of different commodities, then you know how to get into the futures market and place a trade, and you become more comfortable and you become more trustworthy of the strategy that you're taught in our classes to stay within the parameters, and you do very well. Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay. Wow. You said the personalities of the commodity.
Yes.
Explain what you mean by that.
Okay. So each commodity, when you look at a chart, okay, you'll notice certain commodities trade in certain directions and trade in like their frequencies. So like even with the grains, you know, Delvin loves trading the grains, especially corn. And so one of the things he teaches is in certain time of the year, like we're going into the planting season now. And he teaches us, you learn the grains by the time of the year, with planting season or harvesting season, you know, the actual charts start to do certain things at those time of the year. And there's certain contracts for certain times of the year that will trade, and certain contracts will kind of hold off on based upon things over and over and over at certain times of the year, depending on what's going on with that commodity, bringing it to the marketplace. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Well, what I do I understand it because I like to understand how people work, different personalities of people, and how I relate that to the marketplace based on the business that I do. I have to look at like how people are, the personalities, but I also have to look at time of year that'll tell me, okay, this is the time when I'm, you know, business about booming, like this is tax season now. So this is the business.
Exactly.
Slow season, then it's gonna pick back up, and so on and so forth. So yeah, that's cool, man.
There you go.
Be kind of yeah. I like this. I don't know how much time I'll be able to really commit to it. I'm one of them type of people that when I know something is gonna work for me, I like to focus on it primarily. So my time has to be good, but I'm definitely gonna be on your coattail.
You know, and for the most part, when we look at like Barb and I, and I'm sure Delvin does the same thing. He probably does it less than we do. But pretty much almost every day or every other day, we'll look at our charts for at least 20 minutes. And we just flip through our charts to see what fun stuff is going on in the market and what trades we want to, get into based upon the strategies that we're taught for the most part. So it's not, I don't want you to think that you've got to spend hours every day at this to learn this. You know, if you can carve at least 20 minutes out every day or every other day to look at your charts and just to train your eyes on the strategies that we teach, that's pretty much what it's going to take to get yourself, I would say, doing this and growing in it. Okay, if you just want to look at your charts probably once a week or once every other month, you probably won't make a lot, because you would have to keep up with the market and how things are moving in the market.
Right, and I want to make a lot.
There you go.
Well,
so consistency pays is pretty much everything.
And we also have a manual coming out too. I said we also have a manual coming out April. This is the first edition called Futures and Commodities 101, where Dr. Melba and myself, we really took Delvin's 10-week course, his curriculum that he teaches, and we put that in a manual along with everything he learned from his mentor and what we've learned from him. And we put that in a manual to help someone just like you, because some people do prefer, to flip the pages. They prefer to have a book. We all learn differently. And so this would be very helpful for you. That manual, it would help you, learn. You'll be taking the course basically, because that's what the manual is really. And so we did that to reach different people from all different backgrounds, different ages, because we find it's better when people have a book to go by, where that you can use it. You can put write your notes in it. It's charts in there. It's definitions. You learn the language of the market. You learn the purpose of the market in this book. You learn strategies, and you learn really the technical part of trading, as well as to have some fundamental in there as well. But what we've learned, we took that and we put it in that manual. So I would really recommend that you get the manual when it comes out. That it's going to help you tremendously.
Okay, I got you. And I do like to read. Some people, when you give them a book, let me just go on YouTube and figure this out. But I think it'll be a good thing for the people that actually do read. I'm a reader, so that's how I learn. Do you have difficulties really trying to get people to understand how? Well, let me ask y'all this: based on your experience doing this, how? Trying to see how to frame this question. Your audience, the audience of people, do you mostly target people understand trading, period, regardless of what they're trading? Do you all help them understand how to trade, and then you teach them the actual commodity market? They all have to know how to trade.
No, I mean, it's
absolutely not.
It's for anybody. We love to help people that's never heard of futures and commodities. That's some of our best, students that we work with, because it's a, and they come in and they become serious and they work at it and they become successful at it. That person, they see this as a great investment for themselves. Dr. Melba did. Neither one of us had ever heard of the futures and commodities market. And we were fascinated about it. And we studied, we worked hard to get to where we're at now. And we can appreciate all that we did. And we love working with people like that. So absolutely not. You don't have to know anything about the market. It's good if you do. It's a plus for that individual, actually, because it gives them a leg up. It's an vantage point for them. But whether you know or not, just as long as you're willing to learn and you're teachable and you want to build a business, it can work for you.
Let me add something, Eric, if I can. I know a minute ago we were just kind of going over the fact that the youngest student that took the course was 10 years old, and the oldest student was 80 years old. And the fact that we have 10-year-olds take the course, learn and understand it, that attests to the fact of what Dr. Melba was talking about how simplicity this course has been put together. It's a 10-year-old can understand it and learn it. So no matter your background or your knowledge of trading, we take you from the very beginning of understanding how the market works, and then understanding the system that we follow and trade with. So you can come into the group, buy the course with no knowledge of trading at all. And that was one of the goals of the course, is to be simple for the everyday person with no knowledge of trading to pick it up, whether you got experience or not. We got experienced traders in our group, and we got people who have no knowledge at all. Every time we start over from lesson one, we have new people coming in the group, coming on our calls, and that don't have any knowledge at all about trading.
Mm-hmm.
One of the best things about what we do, Eric, is that's what we want when it comes to the market. We can make money when prices are going up, and we can make money when prices are going down. Just as long as prices are moving. That's one of the best. So it's a lot of fun, and we even have a retreat, an annual event that we have every year, a live event, and this is our third annual retreat that we have coming up this April, and we do actually the same. Well, not the same, a little different. But we have people who like to come and learn in person and meet and pick the brains of the mentors and spend a few days together learning in person. And we do that every year as well. So there's so many ways to get involved with us and learn.
Oh yeah, I know them conventions be live. What do y'all normally have y'all conventions at or your retreats at?
It's been in Arizona so far, but the goal is to take them all over the world. We're gonna be doing it on the tropical beaches of the world, as we grow. But it's been growing every year, man. And this year it's in downtown Phoenix.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds real good. Before we close out, man, we got one more question here. He says, are there any specific indicators or signals that you use to predict price movements in the commodity?
Absolutely, but that's not the ones that you may typically hear people using. We don't use software system, but like Dr. Melba was talking about with the charts, we keep it very simple. But we have strategies in the system that we use where we're looking for specific things on the charts, and these buy and sell signals, they happen every single day on the chart. But yeah, it's all about a simplicity system where we watching for certain formations that form on the chart, but we don't use software system. We teach people how to recognize and point out the buy and sell signals where you don't have to depend on the computer to tell it for you.
Right. Okay. Man, I'm definitely intrigued. First time hearing something, it's like just a new experience all over again. That's why we're gonna ask. So how would anybody like actually start, and who they need to get in contact with just to, I guess get the course or just start the process?
We always turn that over to Barbara Warren.
Well, we have a website that we want you to commodities101.com. All of our social media handles are going to have instructions in there where you can email us and you can get an invite to our Telegram group where we have weekly calls, trainings every week. So you get the manual and you're like, well, what are my next steps? Your next step is to email us, and the instructions is in the manual where you can connect with us and come on every week and learn with everyone else.
Awesome. Okay, good deal. Well, I do appreciate y'all coming on today. Y'all forced me to do a live stream. So this is my first live stream for the podcast. So I'm gonna clap it up for that. Y'all gave me some things to research, to look into. I'm gonna be telling other people about this as well. I'm actually gonna try to stream this. It's streaming on Facebook. I'm gonna try to get it on any other platform that I feel like I can get it on after we're done, because I think I pre-recorded it too. And Miss Melba, Barbara, Delvin, I appreciate your time. Is it anything that y'all want to, I guess for the people that's maybe looking at trying to get started with it in the future, anything they need to know or something you want to say to them?
Dr. probably got something she wants to say. I can tell.
My heart is just for folks to just really, because there are those of us that know that life brings more, and we want to know the more. And there are those of us that like to do the same thing that we've been doing for years, and we're happy with that. But the folks that know that life brings more and then there's more, and they want to experience that, I think this is one of the ways that they'll find that it'll be a fun way to experience the more that life has for all of us, and a way where they get to control the more. A lot of times we depend on others to control our more, and if it doesn't happen, we make excuses for ourselves. And I think you can see what's going on in our economy and our world system right now, that a lot of things have to come back to us taking a handle of our lives and making different choices and not relying on systems of the world to bring us our prosperity. But there is a prosperity that comes from within all of us, and we all have to tap into what that is for each of us. So for those of you that are listening to us or seeing us, and there's something that is inside of you that's saying, you know what, I really want to find out some more about what they're talking about, visit our website, futuresandcommodities101.com, and connect with us, and you will absolutely enjoy the journey with us, because we've been enjoying the journey, and that's why we're taking the time to come out here and to just pretty much share with everyone that has a heart to listen and have ears to hear. And so, and that's what I have to say to the masses that are going to be listening to this for some time to come. And we look forward to meeting all of you.
And Eric, I want to say, let me say by saying, man, you know, anyone can do this. I want to say that again, and that may be on your mind. You may be listening to this or watching this, and you're saying, you know, is this something that I can do? And I'm telling you, you absolutely can. You know, this is something that anyone can do. That's why I want to keep saying it, because if I can do it, anybody can do it. And you don't have to be the smartest person to do it. And we keep it simple. You'll be amazed if you take the course, how simple this is. It may sound like it's hard or difficult because it's something that you never heard of. And that's the way things are when you never heard of it. It may sound complicated or difficult, but it's not. You just got to learn, keep it simple, and you can do this. You can be successful at doing this. That's our goal when we're teaching, working with the people that take the course. We want them to get started and be successful with this. Everybody's journey is going to be different. But if you're asking yourself if it's something you can do, you absolutely can.
Right. Barbara, did you want
to? We pretty much said it.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, like I said, I'm gonna be looking into it. I definitely appreciate y'all for coming on. Y'all back on. I'm gonna have my guy to school me a little bit more on trading, just trading, period. Because I like to go in sections. I'm the type of person, I got to understand this first. Then that'll make that make sense, and make that make sense, so on and so forth. But I definitely appreciate it. I'm going to the website. This has been another, and go to my website also. I always got to advertise myself, www.creditelite.com. The best in Memphis and Mississippi doing this, and I service all 50 states. So definitely come to me. Y'all have a great day, and we'll see y'all on the next episode.